Welcome to another point 5. Ryan is sick. Actually, we're joking. He's not sick.
Wow, sick like really cool, dude.
He's getting ready to get the store ready for tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
It's opening day. Woo!
Of the
new Comic Conspiracy 2.0.
The Comic Conspiracy 52?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's funny because our master plan was Brian had this dinner planned where we all get together, and I figured that was the end for Ryan Higgins, as in setting up the new store.
Socially, for the evening.
Yeah. So our wink-wink spot was to leave the party eventually.
Yep.
Go to the store.
Yep.
Record this point 5 at the store.
Yep.
And then, kind of break in the new store for this podcast.
Yeah.
That didn't go to plan at all.
Yeah.
When we're at the dinner, Ryan was still wigging out, going, hey, I got all the shit to do. In fact, there's no way we're going to be able to do this because it has all... He basically told us to do other stuff at the shop, like sort out the Marvel trades and, pulled in Charlie to do some work and, he's finishing up now as we're recording this,
He's
basically.
Probably not even done.
No, we're getting close.
So a couple elements that our friend Tobias neglected to mention.
Absolutely.
First of all, it's after midnight.
Yeah.
Second of all, this is a drunk cast in case we slur at all.
Yeah.
We had a couple beverages during dinner, so...
And we're continuing.
And we're continuing,
yeah.
As you do. Okay.
Yeah, so this might be very entertaining or very bad for you guys.
It'll be very entertaining. There's no other way around it. But
can I add that Bryce is wearing a Jigglypuff hat right now?
That is true. I am wearing a
He's wearing a pink shirt and a pink Jigglypuff hat. It's pretty impressive.
Unintended matching.
It is very matching. Actually, the eyes are matching the blue on his shirt right now.
This is the worst radio ever. They can't. They can't see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, my son turned 5, and so my wonderful wife got matching Pokemon hats for my kid's birthday party this past weekend.
No, very cool.
She got my daughter a Jigglypuff hat, which is all pink, and my son a Charmander, whichever one is the dragon.
Yeah, it's Charizard the dragon, but Charmander turns into him.
Well, we'll agree that you're right, and that...
I've watched my share of Pokemon. And played it in the middle of the night.
I believe you. No, don't get me wrong, I love Pokemon. But I'm still, ramping up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm also wearing a pink shirt. That was actually just random. Don't let Higgins tell you that it's a shade of red, because he will try to tell you that it is a shade of red. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm very excited to be doing this podcast. We're actually doing this in the garage of Casa de Larsen, which is a podcast first. I would say a 0.5 episode first, except that this is only
we're almost
our third or fourth one ever.
Yeah, but we were almost going to record it at the new store.
We probably would have, except that they were
almost in the bathroom because we were trying to give Ryan his space, but we realized that Ryan needed his space, so we just like, fuck it, we're going to record it here.
That's true. Also, if you turn on the light in the bathroom, there's the fan, probably...
True.
For better.
Plus, you were just like hating the DC wall, right? You're like, evil.
Actually, I mean, that's funny for like memes, but so I appreciate that. But I actually do really love that wall.
It is a pretty
cool wall.
So what happened is Ryan and Leanne put up these comic book covers of old school DC comics.
Wait, let me back up for just 10 seconds.
Yeah, all over the wall.
So Higgins moved. For those of you that this may be your first podcast, or maybe you're not like. In the Facebook/Twitter community,
I will apologize because we're going to go all in.
Well, he's sorry, but he's not sorry. But Higgins moved, and this is the first recording, even though we're not at his shop, because we were there 2 separate times tonight, but I had to leave because he can't be fucking bothered to be dealing with jokers like us.
Yeah, no. I kind of tried to see if we could do it, but it was like a no.
The option was to record in his bathroom, but
no,
when you're in those bathrooms, and first of all, you're in the bathroom, and second of all, there's the fan going on, and you're just talking over this loud, and you're just like, oh my god, can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, even though he's not sick, he's very busy. Very stressed, probably, because...
How busy is he?
He's pretty damn fucking busy.
Would you say that he's very busy?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. He might be healthy now. Because when we moved out to the old store, we found all this black mold, and that's probably the reason why he got sick all the time.
That's really
So,
gnarly. That's really gross.
so there may be, we have to figure something else out for this 0.5s because he may never be sick again.
I'm sure that is not the case. I'm sure that he'll be sick very shortly. Would you say that he's very busy or very, very busy?
I think he's very, very busy.
Okay.
Yeah. When Ryan is talking to me...
How many varies, though? 2, 3?
I think like 4. Because when he's talking to me,
so how many,
and I can't even say anything, and he just keeps talking, I'll know he's busy. Because usually he just ignores me. He just goes,
Oh, yeah.
Just, like,
That's the most annoying.
Yeah,
ever.
And he just writes on Twitter about what you just said.
Wait, so how many varies are we agreeing on?
4.
3?
3.
So how many would that be?
How many what? How many uh-huhs?
No, how many varies? Very, very?
I think it's a very, very, very busy.
Okay.
3. Let's do 3.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm with you.
Anyways, as we do this Q&A thing, as we started with the last 0.5. First of all, welcome to another 0.5 episode of the Toby and Bryce show. Again, we had a few beers in. So you guys are really tame on your fucking questions. I thought we were going to get some good shit this time. But no, you guys are really proper, and we get some really decent questions. Nothing extreme.
Very polite, non-extreme questions.
Yeah.
Might I suggest that if you're a podcast... So I listen to podcasts myself.
Yeah.
If you are listening to us on your morning commute, maybe pause it, and hopefully you come back to us and play us on like your afternoon commute. For my own sake, whenever I'm listening to people like that have had a few on my morning commute,
and we're trying to be quiet because your son is sleeping right above of us.
Yeah, it's also probably annoying my 5-year-old as well, who's asleep. Hopefully,
it'd be funny if he joins us, Daddy.
If he comes down, I swear to God, I'll get him on the microphone and he'll lay down a line or two. He'll have some good shit to say. But what I was saying, I'm sorry, was that it's super annoying listening to people that have had a few in the morning, but in the afternoon you're much more tolerable. At least for my sake, I'm like, okay, you're super annoying in the morning, but maybe in the afternoon I can handle it. Anyway, so if you're listening to this tomorrow morning, depending on when Higgins puts it out,
it might be it'll probably be in the evening, anyways.
Okay, we'll do us all a favor and wait until you're accepting of people that have had a few. Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Tobias here.
I have a little list.
Has put a list together of questions with the actor from the Deadpool movie and...
No, not the actor from the Deadpool movie, of whose name we'll never mention again. Good try.
That wasn't really a good try, but thank you.
Good try. But Casey, let's start with Casey.
Okay,
good friend Casey.
So this is a Q&A episode.
As the last two have been. Including this one. Including this one.
We are still working on our formatting.
Yes. Casey asked, if your favorite character had to die, how would you like it to happen? Has to be painful for both. As in, you and me?
Painful for who?
For both.
Okay.
As in you and me.
Not me and the comic book character.
Oh, I don't know. Figure it's a comic book character.
So what does it actually say? For who?
It says has to be painful for both. Am I saying that wrong? Are you getting me on something here?
No, I'm not.
You are. You're totally getting me on something.
No, I'm not.
This is bad radio. Wait, what are you getting me on?
No, this is bad radio. Answer the question.
My
favorite character is obviously Cable.
Yeah.
Because I'm the number one Cable fan of the community.
Maybe.
So I would have to say, how would I want them to die? This is kind of weird. Cable is not died, but died. Like, there's been so many times over the years where Cable is like inexplicably gotten mortally wounded, and then you're not really sure what happened, and then he shows up later and he's fine. So I would love Cable to go out in an epic battle with Apocalypse and or Strife. He's had a couple battles with both, and they've all been really good. So if he had to die, I think that it would be in another one of those epic battles of the same ilk. So there you go. I guess Cable's kind of obvious. If I had to give like a secondary, a beta answer, if you will, I will choose Gambit because I don't think
I
that.
was gonna say Gambit would be for both of us.
Yeah, so Gambit's
Yeah.
sort of a softball answer in terms of like he's such a B-list character as much as they don't want to admit it. That it actually becomes a much more compelling question because you're not sure what to do with this fucking guy because with Cable, Superman, Cable is Cable's already like an asterisk to a bunch of people, but like
I would have
Spider-Man, Superman, Batman.
Yeah, that would be the kind of like.
So those are the main like your favorite character. Like if they were to die, like those would be the first people that you would guess that you'd have to find a solution for. But like Gambit, definitely not.
Yeah.
So I would actually want Gambit to have some sort of. Did you ever read the round robin in the Spider-Man book where he fought the Sinister Six?
Dude, that's my fucking favorite crossover of all time.
My man.
Yeah.
Dude, how great was that?
Dude, it was so awesome.
It had the fucking New Warriors, it had Deathlock.
It's got fucking cybernetic ninjas.
It's got Punisher.
Yeah.
It's got fucking every greatness of the 90s.
Oh, it's glorious 90s.
Yes, the 90s were glorious.
Yeah.
Back, make Marvel great again, hashtag.
In a red hat.
Or a red mask, Spider-Man, thank you very much. So I would say that I would want Gambit to have some sort of equally epic, even though it's not possible, because he doesn't have an equivalent Rogues gallery or Allies gallery, other than if you just throw in a bunch of X-Men, which I guess is, a fine shortcut.
Yeah.
I would want him to fight, like, the Assassin's Guild. The Thieves Guild versus the Assassin's Guild in an epic match. I would want the Assassin's Guild to have hired, like, some great assassins, like Deathstroke. Just kidding. Although that'd be awesome. But actually, like, Bullseye, Electro, like, a bunch of great assassins that I would want Jeff Loeb to start writing it, but I wouldn't want him or Bendis to finish writing it. I would want somebody that can actually finish the story to finish it. So, somebody like Hickman or Spencer TBD. I guess that's a question for later about Spencer's. What the fuck is it called? Dark Reign, right?
Oh yeah, is it Dark Reign?
Fucking, we'll get to it.
Yeah. Well, Gambit for me, obviously, Nightwing also, but fuck.
You probably have some great DC answers.
Well, no, I just don't want him to fucking die. So this is a horrible fucking question.
Yeah.
Because Nightwing was rumored to die in Final Crisis, and I was very mad about that rumor.
I just can't emotionally get invested with another Robin. Like, your Robins are dying all the time.
He's not another Robin.
He's the fucking first Robin. He's
the
literally
Robin.
the first Robin.
He's the Robin, yeah. Well, he's Nightwing now.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
Why is Ryan wrong so often? Troll question.
That was a troll question?
Yeah.
All right, here's the thing about why Ryan is wrong so often. I can actually answer this. You're welcome. Is that Higgins owns a comic book shop.
He has to deal with a lot of fucking crazy people like us.
He has to deal with a lot of fucking crazy people like us. I was actually going to say, even though that's true, that he, in order to, it's like any person that you know in your life that has a full-time job that is really good at their job, they are dead set and psychologically bullheaded towards being successful and almost stubborn about their own job. Only the people that you know that have jobs that they're really good at. Higgins is very good at his job. And
he is, actually.
To be good at his job, he has to have a certain level of fucking crazy assness, sort of maniacal. Like, listen, if Higgins wasn't as just dead set about how DC is better than Marvel, I'm not sure that the store would survive. I mean, he does such a good job of managing his store, and it's all predicated on his belief in the comic book industry, and I think that it's like it mirrors his opinion or not opinion, his feelings towards Nintendo. He has a belief system towards certain certain elements, certain brands that get him through, and I think that the belief that those that he okay, I'm sorry for explaining this so poorly. This question caught me off guard, but that his belief system in the ethics in these companies, the way that he feels DC is running their business is just so much better than anybody else.
Yeah.
That belief is going to sustain him through great business practices, which is why he's such a great business owner. Why is he wrong so much? It's because he's so dogmatic in the beliefs that he holds.
Well, he sticks to them too. I think
that's literally what dogmatic means.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, I've also bungled a bunch of words because we're a couple in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times he makes up his decisions way beforehand.
Well, that too.
And then he just needs to prove his decisions once it's out.
That's also true.
All right. Casey still. If you stopped having anything to do with comics and comics-related things, what would you fill your time with? Well, for you, it's easy.
Yeah, soccer, family, and beer.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's almost equivalent. It's basketball, no family, but probably women. I would like that. And beer also.
You got to get a family somehow.
Yeah, so I'll start with women.
Well, to each his own.
Yeah.
But if that's your style, then go for it.
Yeah. But,
all right.
Yeah.
There
But
you go.
no, yeah, I'm hugely into basketball. You're hugely into soccer. Yeah, there's similar questions related to this coming down the road too. Which
Liverpool just crushed Bayern Munich today. Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well,
Gotta be embarrassed.
We just lost Ian Clark to the Pelicans.
Oh, that sounds like a sports team that shouldn't exist. The Pelicans?
Yeah, New Orleans.
What they fucking invented from Finding Nemo? What the fuck is the Pelicans?
That's one of their national birds.
That's the worst fucking sports team name.
Yeah, well, there used to be the Hornets, which they gave up.
The Hornets is way more threatening than the fucking Pelicans.
Well, but the Hornets were able to get it back. It was very confusing. The Charlotte Hornets got sold. They moved to New Orleans. Then the thing happened. They went to Oklahoma City, and then they went back to New Orleans, and then they decided to change the name to the Pelicans. At the same time, Charlotte started an expansion team called the Bobcats, so they were no longer the Hornets.
Okay.
Then Jordan eventually bought it, and the minute they gave up the Hornets name, Jordan took the name back, so they became the Charlotte Hornets again. Brief history lessons.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I thought that he was like the Nationals head coach or the...
Sure. Let's move on.
Bryce, you're just wrong. Has been said in so many ways.
Still, our friend Casey, he goes, describe a time you went far and above the call of duty to get a comic book that you wanted. Having a job does not count.
Well, I once made friends with this guy, Ryan Higgins, and was friends with him for several years, and eventually was invited onto this podcast, and was on this podcast for a long time. I was on here for several episodes, and then, I'm not sure if name sharing is appropriate, we were gifted, although episodes prior, people may remember this episode, we were gifted several very nice gifts from certain people that I follow on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it wasn't intentional. Is I guess sort of the cop-out way of saying I've never done anything crazy other than have a job and pay money for a good comic book.
Okay.
I've been very lucky to be gifted very, very generous gifts.
Yeah.
But
we may mention on the next question.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know the story. I went for Gambit's first appearance before I had the funds to get Gambit's first appearance, which in hindsight wasn't that much, I guess. But when I was a 15-year-old or 16-year-old, $40 for a comic book was crazy, just crazy amount of money. But I saved for many, many weeks. and I finally bought it. Only to work at that certain comic book shop, maybe like a year later, and then to be offered the same book for 20. And I was like, "What the fuck, man! I worked so hard for this comic book." But maybe even prior to that, I came to the States to study English for a summer program, and I played ball at the YMCA, and some of the kids showed me this comic book store, and that was the first time I actually walked in a comic book store, and I was like, "This is fucking amazing." And I knew before I had to leave, I had to go back and just buy something. So I remember, like, without the other kids telling me where it is, I had to backtrack to see where this fucking comic book store was, away from YMCA, which I kind of just ditched. And I walked, and it was probably like a mile or 2 miles away walking, and I finally bought that book, which was, I think, Gambit #2. And I bought some back and boards, and when they gave me the price, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's like, I don't know, like, $5.27." I was angry about the 27 cents. I'm like, "What the fuck you talking about?" And they go, "Tax." And I seriously had no concept on the tax thing, because in Europe everything is just like, if it's $5, it's $5. It's not $5.70.
Yeah.
So I was like, I guess I will not buy these extra 9 pocket card sleeves.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, so it was a very
Hey, that 27 cents is gonna kill you.
well, when you walk up and you only have the $5 bill, you go, "What the fuck?" Yeah.
Well, especially when you're a toddler, or I'm sorry, not
Younger,
Yeah,
younger,
yeah, yeah.
younger, yeah. And I didn't know about the taxing, so that was an interesting experience. But the two, and then the store that I went to in Cupertino that was open at the time, asking for more Gambit comics, and the guy looks at me like I'm retarded. Goes, "It's a limited series," and I didn't have a clue what that meant. So I came back the next week. Go, "Is it here yet?" I think he goes, "No, dude, that was a limited series from like 7 years ago. Go away." And I'm like, "No, I'll come back next week." Go, "Is it here yet?"
Let's agree on two things. First of all, let's not use that expression as a derogatory term anymore.
That's true. Sorry.
And second of all, Gambit is the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the second best only to Cable, and for you, he might be the best, second to Nightwing.
Second to Nightwing, probably. Yeah, he's pretty even ground for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. And we've thrown a ton of shade at this other venue that Tobias used to frequent in his youth, much to his current chagrin. But we are both older and wiser now,
Yeah.
and shopping at a much better place.
Yeah.
That just moved.
Yeah. Literally just moved.
But yeah, no, good question.
Yeah. Tyler Village.
Oh, you did get back to Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. First of all, I don't think I ever thanked you publicly yet, and I need to thank you privately also. The last couple of books were fucking gold. I mean, the Punisher #1 that you sent me, and that X-Force cover of Domino and the cover of Wolverine, dude, you made me beyond happy. I'm sorry I didn't think you earlier, but you just like, I for some reason you just know what to get me. Obviously the rest of the cast, but you, like, I'm still jonesing about those two books that you got me, man. Two of my favorite books. On the X-Force, you probably pick one of my favorite covers of all time. You probably pick my favorite Punisher issue of all time, man. Just so, thank you very much.
Excellent. Tyler, I've tucked in your dick enough. Thank you so much again. But anyway.
Yeah, so he asks, if you didn't collect comic books, what else would you do with your riches from not spending that money?
Okay, Tyler, I have a great answer for that. So this is probably going to vary widely if you have kids or not. And it's also probably going to vary widely beyond that if you are just sort of a hoarder / collector. Not a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder, but if you fucking looked at my garage right now that we're sitting in, Jesus, you might think otherwise.
It's not bad, dude. I will never allow you to go to my house until I clean it
up. So, yeah, I mean, I would collect probably anything else. I mean, I was collecting HeroClix for a fucking minute. Oh, that also is another question that we'll get to later.
Yeah, it is. Spoiler.
Yeah, so, my collecting, other than HeroClix and comic books, has been pretty, limited. But now my little man, he just turned 5 a week or two ago, and he's getting into all sorts of this nerdy shit that I'm just loving. collecting shit that I don't like to collecting shit that like I can get behind. Um, he's like super into like these things called woodsies, which I didn't hear. That? They're little forest animals.
Yeah?
Yeah, I couldn't really tell you other than that. It's really annoying because I'm like, bro, there's so many comic book shit like that you could be collecting.
Yeah.
And so it's killing me. But it's super cute because he gets so excited about it. But the other thing that I can get behind is Pokemon. He's super into Pokemon, the toys and the cards. Yeah. He's super into it. And so I can get behind that.
So now, as a collector though,
yeah,
if I ever had kids, knowing my own issues of myself, like, I actually would try, I don't know, I mean, it might change if I ever have kids, but I would actually kind of discourage that habit. Because I feel like it's blocking me for a lot of potential, because I feel like I love collecting, and sometimes I invest too much time on it, and in the end, I feel like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the things to collect, don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy it, but in the end, I was like, I could have concentrated money on better things, maybe experiencing, maybe seeing more things.
Okay, so that is a great...
Like, I would like, way to... I don't like to eat veggies, but if I ever have kids, I will like, dude, that shit is yummy.
How maybe have my
best poker face ever. That probably is not very good.
I was actually going to say, with your accent pronouncing so many things
wrong,
I would say uniquely that you do. You. How do you not pronounce veggies wedgies? I mean, that's right in line with your accent. You don't.
Oh, excellent. But because you just made me doubt myself.
No, you did great. Frankly, I would love it it would be incredible if you pronounced the wedgies. That'd be hilarious. Anyway,
that would be horrible.
So I will tell you.
I'll be at the restaurant. I will do not want any veggies. They'd be like, what?
Yeah, the serving lady will be like, no, Toby, I don't want any wedgies.
The serving lady today was kind of interesting.
We'll agree that you're right. Yeah. Okay, so I will say something that I think probably, hopefully, but who knows? Most dads would agree with, and potential future dads, something that you can possibly look out for. For me, it's a giant booby trap. It is like, at first, exactly to your point.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not want him like following in the footsteps of being a collector, because it's a huge money sink.
Yeah.
But fuck me if like his eyes don't light up every time he gets like a new fucking thing.
That's cool.
And don't get me wrong, he's wildly spoiled. Like it shames me like how spoiled he is when he throws a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
And I feel fucking awful about it. But like when his fucking eyes light up and he gets a new fucking like thing that daddy is into.
Yeah.
Because so much of it is tied to like what I'm into, which is comic books and superheroes.
That's cool.
And he just fucking loses his mind and gets so excited. And I'll be damned if I don't, like, fucking, my heart doesn't melt a little bit.
Here's my thing. If I ever have kids, I feel bad if I have all these toys, like, in my display case. I almost want to be like, fuck it. Here you go. Go have fun like I used to.
Well, dude, so like, you're looking around my garage?
Yeah.
There's a fucking grip of Legos that you see?
Yeah.
Those used to be, like, daddy's storage, like, storage until you get older.
Yeah.
But he's, like, slowly softened me, and, like, he'll just randomly be like, can I just play with this one box of Legos? And I'll be like, oh, sure, little man. Of course you can play with this little box of Legos. Like,
well, for me, it's like I have so many adventure visually and imaginatively. Like, if, that's the thing I would love to pass on instead of, like, the collecting habit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, like, they don't... So I don't know, but I feel, right or wrong, that they're not going to appreciate the collectability of it unless they accept the whole collectorness of it.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if that was described properly, but they just, like, he will have them but not give a fuck about them unless he's already sort of bought into the collectability of them.
Yeah, okay.
And if he's bought into the collectability of them, then he's already sort of going down the road of, this shit could be expensive, and so why would I,
Yeah.
treated poorly.
To answer Tyler's question, basketball is a big part of my life, and in a long periods of that, to collect a lot of shoes. So I'd probably be still buying shoes, probably still collecting jerseys. Collecting is in my blood, as much as I try to deny it, but it's there.
You have a good jersey collection?
I really do,
Really?
including players I don't like anymore, which I don't know how to explain. Like I have a Carmelo jersey from Denver, and I dislike the player. I don't.
Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah, because at the time I was like, fuck LeBron, right from the
I didn't
beginning.
know that he played for Denver. That's how.
Oh yeah, he was a rookie in Denver, but
noobish I am.
at the time it was like, LeBron is going to be the man, but there happens to be this other guy named Carmelo Anthony at the same time. So I'm like, fuck LeBron, I'm going to go with Carmelo. So I got his jersey.
Well, I think a lot of people still share that sentiment.
Yeah, but it's not a
From
player I ended
California.
up liking. But I collect. I've got a Mike Bibby jersey. I got Bobby Jackson from the Kings. I got multiple Jordans, multiple Pippins, multiple Rodmans. I got Tim Hardaway from the Warriors, Chris Mullin for the Warriors.
That's awesome. So, like, comic book people, like, can slate their books that are really, like, worth a lot.
Yeah.
Is there an equivalent for basketball jerseys?
Not jerseys, but I did collect my share of autographs, and I do have a Jordan one.
Okay.
So when I was working at Legends, the store I used to work at previous from Ryan's, there's a guy that used to come in to do consignment of a bunch of sports memorabilia, and he just had them in the store, and there'd be certain fews that I would that I would stare down and go, one day I'll probably go for that. And there's a Jordan one that there was right above the cash register that I really wanted, but eventually it sold it right before I kind of gathered the money up to do it, and then there was another one that was in a display case further back, so I ended up going for that one, which I don't know. I mean, it was like I said, a collector thing, because I started with the cheaper ones. I got the Iverson, I got the Kobe, and then it was Kobe before Kobe was Kobe.
Yeah.
I got all the local guys, and I got the guys I loved. I have a really nice Rodman and Pippen one, and it was a totally collector thing because. I would prefer to get them myself, which would have a story behind it and so on.
Yeah. So much harder.
Yeah, it's so much harder. But when I was at the store and they were just there, I started collecting those.
Okay.
Cisco goes, has Marvel ever explained why its citizens hate mutants, but cheer and tolerate other superpowered heroes like Cap and Spidey? Seems weird to draw the line between people born with abilities. How in the world will people know if heroes were born with the powers or not?
Yeah, I saw this question.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good question that I think is just so...
Now, wasn't the original version of the X-Men the reason why they even dress up as superheroes is to fit in?
We'll agree that you're right.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
I thought that was like the reason why they pretended to be superheroes is to fit in. For people to think of them as normal superheroes, not mutants.
So I know that in the very first issue or issues of X-Men, he got Reed Richards to develop their costumes to be made of unstable molecules so that they could, like, basically as the...
Do mutiny things?
No. Well, I guess so, but... what's the word when you won't know? When
did you just say you won't know?
Yeah, you won't, and I don't know either. But when writers, because we're not writers professionally,
yeah.
When writers use something to fucking as a means to an end, as a way to explain. Fuck, I bet a bunch of people are listening to this and they're like,
yeah, they're like,
this is the fucking name, you
idiots.
idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they needed a way to explain, like, why they would have these costumes that would be, every issue they would be destroyed, but then they would, like, be fine the next issue. So they were unstable molecules developed by Reed Richards, their costumes were. Yeah. I don't think that it was to, like, fit in, but I could be wrong.
I thought it was to fit, but, well, who knows. But did they ever explain why mutants were hated? That's actually a good question. That's it.
Well, I mean, so I think it's sort of a hot button question that there's no way that, it can be answered thoroughly / in excess without...
It did make for some really good stories.
Well, yeah, so look, I think what it is it's just they needed a metaphor for. Oh my god! I hope I don't get this wrong or make anyone angry. I think they needed a metaphor for sort of baseless racism, frankly.
Yeah.
And
No, I think that's why I always gravitated to it.
and so they needed to have a group of people that might look the same but had something different about them. That the whole idea that nobody was afraid of them until they exhibited their mutant powers, and then all of a sudden you're different. Which is to say that just because people are born with a different set of genetics doesn't necessarily make them bad, but people think that they are bad just because they find out about the different genetics that they have. So I think it's a great social commentary that was developed fucking over 50 years ago. And it's been sort of evergreen for them. There's been ebbs and flows in the way that they've told the story in the past 50 years, sometimes more aggressively, sometimes less aggressively, and it probably is directly correlated to the political climate, frankly. Mm-hmm. So to net, the answer to your question is no, they've never said, because I think that would be sort of, IP, not IP suicide, but it would present some IP turmoil in terms of boxing in their IP as having to. There's a specific reason why. I think that there's a lot of room for flexibility in the writing when they don't, or when they haven't described why people don't like the X-Men versus Cap or Spidey. If you leave it more ambiguous or amalgamous, then they're allowed more freedom in their story writing. Your turn.
On what you just said?
Not in response to me, but
yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think they just needed some set of rules for their convention of their storytelling to make everything work. So beyond that, I don't think there's too much more of a reason. So yes, it contradicts some of their other stuff, but I think they needed to set up these rules to make everything else work.
Yeah, exactly. Like, on the face of it, why do they not like the X-Men, but they do like Spider-Man and Cap? Like, I mean, because comic books. Like,
yeah.
I mean...
No, they explain with certain mutants are deformed and stuff like that, and that triggered some of it. But I do think, like, some of the original stories, the reason why they dress up as superheroes was to fit in. But I may be remembering this wrong. But anyways. Jacob asks, is it worth grading books? Do you know anything about this?
No, I actually saw this thread on Facebook, and I saw that Higgins actually had great responses to it that I really appreciated him sending. I have not graded any books, but I have a fucking...
You got some good stuff in your collection.
I have a lot of good shit in my collection that I've just not graded. Higgins' response on Facebook was basically, unless you're planning to resell it, and it's over $100 to you, then don't bother.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
So my feeling is very much in agreement, but
look, if you're buying books as an investment and they're more than $100, then maybe you do want to seal them up and make sure to protect it, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's fair enough.
Totally
right?
fair. Totally fair.
I mean, you got some keys, I got some keys. I haven't graded anything in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't think I will. I'll put them in a nice case, whatever. But I'll make sure they don't see a lot of sun. But I like to open my books and sniff them from time to time. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I do like.
A little sexy. Huh?
Yeah, but I like to sniff my old books.
Yeah, who doesn't like to sniff your old books? So no,
but I really do. I like to open my old books and sniff them from time to time.
Okay, that is totally fair. So yeah, no, I haven't graded any books. I'm not sure if I ever will. So my part is just disorganization. I'd love to think that I will without having any actual plans to. Um, Higgins said, it's not worth your time because you gotta like box it up, you gotta ship it out,
Yeah.
you gotta like have this very expensive book in someone else's hands for several weeks. It takes like 6 weeks for the turnaround, and then you get it like shipped back to you. So my thing is slightly different. Although I do agree, like unless you're gonna resell it, it's crazy to get it just graded for grading's sake. My thing has always been kind of what Tobias was alluding to about cherishing the individual covers, although, unlike Tobias, not sniffing the books, but like if I have like an X-Men 1 and I know that I'm not gonna, not even X-Men 1, but like any key book, like, and
Yeah.
I just know that I'm not gonna want to like leaf through it or thumb through it, like maybe even if I'm not going to resell it, if it's over $100 or over whatever,
Yeah.
maybe it's easier to like store somewhere because it's hard with bag and board to like store. Like you're not going to hang it on your fucking wall in a bag and a board. Like,
Yeah.
but if you put it in one of those things, then maybe you want to like display it somewhere. So
Yeah.
it really depends on what you're going to do. If you want to resell it, make sure it's worth a significant amount of money and or send them in bulk to get appraised.
Yeah.
And if you just want it, for yourself, for your like
I might add
kind of
that.
like a trophy case,
Yeah.
then make sure it's a good one. Make sure you have room for it. And I just say fucking YOLO, man. Like it's just time is money, friend.
Yeah.
Just do it if you want. And
Well, I may add that I don't have too many keys that are worth that much money. I may own one key that's supposed to be in your collection that you remind me of all the time.
I've reminded you of it like 2 total times.
Yeah, but it's really stinging me because, I didn't want to take a couple of books from your entire run away.
But it's only the one.
It's 2.
Keep going. I
Well,
think it's only one, but
it's 2 because it's the first and second appearance I got.
Okay, keep going.
But anyways, I till that point have not owned anything worth more than $100 ever. Actually, maybe my Walking Dead #1, which is somewhere in my box, without a mag and more because I didn't know it was going to worth anything.
Brutal.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Zach Runner is asking, what are you looking for for it more, Dark Metal or Legacy?
Okay, that is a very, very, very good question for a self-described Marvel fanatic. So unsurprisingly, I'm more excited for Legacy. However, I do have to acknowledge the fact that DC is like your boring friend that is just always reliable and never lets shit like fall through the cracks. And everything is going to be the way you want it when you come home, because they're house sitting, obviously. But but Legacy, it's like is that yours?
I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Whereas Legacy, I feel has so much more to gain and or so much, well, actually, frankly, not much more to lose. I think that Marvel's really sort of been hit with a lot of negative press or publicity due to the fact that maybe their business practices aren't generating as much new readership as they would like. So, hopefully things can turn around. I mean, there's certainly much higher stakes with Legacy than with Metal. I mean, Metal is just like, okay, DC's been doing a great job, and they're gonna remember all these great characters that we've had our whole history. Yeah, well, they're still here. Okay, so it's sort of a boring, safe, very well written and very well illustrated. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. I'm just saying it's kind of like, yeah, well, okay. Whether or not I saw that coming, it's a pretty it's a safe play that I'm not surprised at all to see. Whereas with Legacy, I mean, they've been shitting the bed for so long. Let's be real, that they could shit the bed even more with a huge relaunch, which would be quite entertaining and engaging. Well, hopefully not engaging, but quite entertaining to watch. or it could be awesome. And what is that phrase Higgins uses? Like, what is it about the armor?
Oh, chicken the armor?
Yeah, I just. Or
Did he start that one? I think it was a listener that started one.
I think that it was him after Age of Ultron, but I could be wrong. Anyway,
Oh,
so
okay.
is the question what am I more
Yeah,
excited about? I'm more excited about Legacy because I think that there's actually like stakes there. I don't think that there's any stakes with Metal. Metal will be good. It'll be very enjoyable, well written read.
Yeah.
And Legacy could be fucking hot garbage, or it could be, boring itself.
Well, I'm the opposite of you because I'm really excited for more. Not really excited, but more excited for Dark Metal.
Yeah.
But I do want Legacy to be really fucking like a sleeper hit. I kind of just wanted to.
But there's no sleeper. It's there.
At this point, for me, it is because everything they've done so far is,
I agree.
Not the best.
I agree.
So
every
wanted
fail
to
they
be
have leads to the next thing being less of a sleeper because there's no sleepers if everything is like failing, and so it's like the next thing can only be like a bigger, like more pressure on the next thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what you're saying though.
Tom is asking, is Ryan really trying to just cosplay as the new TV version of Night Thrasher? And that's why he created the Comic Conspiracy Snapchat, or what the fuck is going on with that?
Wait, he did not really create
it. Yeah, he did.
He did not create
he so did. He so did. So I'm going to blame this on the move. That through the move, he was like, I need to be up to date and be in with all the kids that need to be on the Snapchat thing.
That is...
Because while we're moving...
So funny.
While we're moving,
oh my God.
And, setting up the new shop, he is like freaking out, Toby, I don't understand the Snapchat shit. And I could see him fiddling with it, pressing buttons on it, like, I don't get it. The Snapchat thing. So
I feel like such a fucking old man. I cannot be bothered with Snapchat.
It is very popular with the kids, though.
It certainly is. And if I cared about kids other than my own 2 kids, I'd probably download it.
I try to use it. I don't know. I'm not in the now. As you can tell, I post everything super late. Anything
you do post things so late.
Yeah, I can't do now. It freaks me out a little bit. It's like everything now. It's just like, dude, I need to. Social media, everything goes like 2 months or 3 months later if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Anyways, in response to Tyler's early question, gentleman, when Kyle said buy more Funko Pops, that was a question about what if we didn't buy comics if we had extra funds. I will say those Funko Pops are cool, but I've been always very picky on them. I try not to buy them at all, and if I do, it's a very, very different kind of properties. I went in on the Big Trouble in Little China's. Yeah.
Random.
Fucking love it, man.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
great movie.
What
do you fucking love it? It's crazy.
Beyond love it, man. Love that movie.
That seems so random to me.
Why?
Because of fucking all the great 80s
John Carpenter is fucking genius, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to take anything away from the film.
Russell's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I love Big Trouble in Little China. I picked
Did you ever see CB40? CB4. Wait. Oh, fuck. It's late, bro.
Okay. Anyways, I picked up the Orphan Blacks because I love that show. So I'm very picky and choosy. But if I had my way, I probably wouldn't buy any fucking Pops. But they do look cool sometimes.
They do look cool.
Eric asks, who would win a fight between Batman versus Cable?
Okay. So, Charlie gave a very lame answer.
He did?
Didn't he?
Really?
I thought you read me his answer, or were you saying what you thought he would say?
Oh, I don't know. Was that at the dinner earlier where we had a few drinks?
We did have a few drinks.
I may have missed that part. Yeah. Well,
why?
What did Charlie say?
Cable with a boost of telekinesis.
Well, I will still go with Batman.
So that's wrong. There's no way that Batman beats Cable.
Doesn't matter. I'll go with Batman. He's smarter than anybody.
Well, nobody's right 100% of the time except for me. Yeah, no, I mean, Cable would use some sort of fucking TK to, incapacitated Batman, and by
He
the
probably
way,
has some future weapon that Batman has never seen before to go for.
So how it would work, in the Kurt Busiek, DC versus Marvel amalgam universe, is that Batman would fucking be a douchebag and like somehow beat Cable's metal fucking arm, which makes no sense except for in comic books.
Yeah.
But then Cable would use his telekinesis and he'd be like, "Motherfucker,
boom,
I own you."
Yeah. I don't know how to read this name, and it's definitely not a real name. It's Jardrus Lantern.
Oh.
Is that how you say it?
This is fucking Mike Jones, just my favorite troll. He just trolls me to no end. It's pronounced.
Does he?
It's pronounced chartreuse.
Yeah.
It's a color.
So I'm not
that
too
I guess
far
he's
off.
Very funny about his
So I'm not
color,
too far off.
I would say you were very far off. But
what? I say chartreuse.
Again, A for effort. We'll just agree. A for execution.
Alright, whatever. He is asking us starting lineup for the X-Men soccer team.
Oh,
who plays what position and why?
Okay.
And that's all you.
I have to apologize.
I could do basketball, but he didn't ask about basketball.
I thought that it would be a troll question. Okay, so here's how it is. Great question. Thank you, Mike. It would be Elixir in goal because fucking goalies are just the biggest waste of space. I have to be careful with my language now that I've had a couple. Okay. In defense, Jubilation Lee would be left back. Let's see. Iceman would be center back with young Iceman also center back. We're going to be doing a 4-3-3 formation, if that works for you guys. So Iceman and Iceman. And then on the right back position, oh man, we are going to do. Who's that fucking big? Is it Onyx? Is that the big rock guy named the Young X-Man?
I think so.
Okay. And then in the midfield, we're going to put Gambit in the center of the midfield because he's fucking dope. We're going to put Wolverine / Old Man Logan. You only get one. I don't care who. On the right wing. And on the left wing, I'm going to break a lot of hearts, but I'm going to say Phantom X because I fucking love Phantom X, even though I know that's going to win me absolutely zero fans. And then in the front three, we're going Cable as your front striker. And as your number 9, we're going to go Psylocke because Psylocke is dope as fuck. And then who else is making up the wow, that goes really fast. There's a lot of X-Men. And then just because the X-Men are dope as fuck, we're gonna go Charles Xavier in his wheelchair.
Really?
Is up there as well in the top 3. He's gonna be using not the regular wheelchair. He's gonna be using that 90s hovercraft chair. Yep. Because ain't nobody calling a foul on him when he's floating around that motherfucker. By the way, that is like top level footballing shit. Whatever country they are representing, they're in the top league. By the way, they're making it to the Champions League. And by the way, fucking Messi and Ronaldo are old men compared to the X-Men, so fuck them. And the X-Men win the Champions League and are the greatest thing ever. And it includes Cable, so you're welcome.
Andrew asks, comic runs you think are unrated? He says Aquaman.
Underrated, he said.
Underrated, yeah. Aquaman's new stuff deserves way more buzz, I think he says.
So, I believe you, Andrew. I believe you. Unfortunately, you got an episode this week with 2 gentlemen that are not up to date with Aquaman.
We definitely are not.
Though
I do love me some Jason Momoa.
Right on. I'm very much caught up in my Marvel, and I'm very caught up in Batman. Holy fuck. By the way, did you ever read the Batman Elmer Fudd comic?
No, but I heard it's beyond awesome.
Dude.
Beyond awesome. I'm glad I picked it up.
Higgins was stuck on the dick of that comic for a minute, and it lives up to all the hype.
Does it really?
If you guys have not I don't know how.
I'm glad I picked it up.
It's so many weeks later, but if you can get it digitally, maybe.
Yeah.
I highly recommend reading. It's a fucking great read. It's
I
Tom King writing, which I didn't
you might
realize.
have to read it tonight then, huh?
Oh my god, it's you read it and you're just like, fuck, this guy is just a killer.
That's awesome. Brandon asks, what statues do you own?
What's that way?
Statues do you own?
Oh, what statues do you own?
Do you own any? I know you have a really good comic collection.
Yeah, no, thank you for saying that, even though that's hyperbolic, but I also...
When you destroy them all by binding them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would just, like, cut off different disparate parts of all the statues to combine them into one and call that my bound statue.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any statues except for I have one Deadpool statue that Charlie gave me.
Oh.
But
so you don't have any Cable statues, I see.
I have lots of HeroClix of Cable.
Yeah, but no statues, huh?
You might call them statues.
Uh-huh.
Just because WizKids, the makers of HeroClix, didn't design his character well, doesn't mean that they're not priceless.
I just want to say Charlie has a really, really nice Cable statue on the bookshelf.
There are one or two differences between me and Charlie that we could go into that would probably
only one
not
or two
make Charlie or his wife happy.
Well,
why don't you tell me about your statues?
I got way too many statues. Some I'm embarrassed to own. Some I'm really glad to own, and some I'm like, what the fuck did I do what I do when I bought them? So, I will figure out what I'm gonna do with them all. But I have quite a bit. I like them statues.
Okay.
It's one of those things where they were just beyond my reach for many, many years when I started in the comic book industry, and then when I finally broke down and bought my first one, which I'm trying to remember which one it was, I will regret that I never bought the Nightwing statue from DC Direct like years ago, where he's jumping over the roofing.
Okay.
But
you will always regret it.
I will always regret it because it's never gone cheap on eBay either. I think maybe my first statue is actually the He-Man exclusive from San Diego Comic-Con.
It's kind of cool.
And
you were there for that one. You actually have a store for that.
Yeah, but that started me down the path of buying statues is okay. Because for many years it was like, that's just stupid expensive.
Yeah.
And then once I broke the seal, then stupid expensive was no longer stupid expensive, and it just went down the hill.
What we've learned tonight, as is taught by Toby,
is
don't break the seal.
Do not break the seal and don't collect.
I'm not sure that you're familiar with the whole don't break the seal, what that means. But we'll agree that you're a handsome gentleman. Next question.
There's something more to this again.
No. It's anticlimactic. It's boring. It's boring. It's boring.
All right. Well, anyways, Mario, I still think there's something more to this thing that you just said.
No, break the seal. It's when you have too much beer and you need to pee.
The
whole
okay.
The old wives' tale is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well,
for me, breaking the seal is don't buy something new that you're gonna start collecting.
Well, we all have our own tits and tats. Some of us have more tits than tats.
Well, Mario asks, who would win between a metal arm wrestling match between Cable and Winter Soldier?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is what Charlie said. Cable would win with a hint of TK.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, yeah, this is, not even a fucking question. With or without 2K, Cable would win.
I think so, too.
Yeah, he's more handsome, he's more
rugged.
He's more battle-tested.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier's like a sleeper soldier, which means he's been fucking asleep for, half of his fucking comic book life. They only brought him out of mothballs because he... What?
He might be more rested for the wrestling match. Or arm
That's true, but
match.
in his warm-ups, he gets exhausted.
Yeah.
And Cable's like, fuck you, son.
Robert asks, what are your top 3 Marvel what-if stories? Well, that's a tough one. So I want to say the one that stayed in my mind was a Venom issue where, if I remember right, Venom took over,
Wait, a what issue?
Venom...
I just feel like
you always, whenever you ask me, and you give me that look, I'm like, fuck, I said something wrong.
It's because my poker face is terrible, and I can't even ask you questions anymore because you give me the stink eye, and you're just like...
Something is up. But no, it was something with the symbiote, and I think...
Wait, what symbiote?
Fuck you. But But it ended up it jumping through different characters, including Thor. And eventually, I think Mr. Fantastic figured out the special gun to shoot it dead. And then I want to say Peter Parker might have died because of it, because I remember Black Cat being super like,
what the fuck are you talking about?
Fuck this symbiote thing.
Spoiler alert, Peter Parker didn't die in any
No, in the What If!
Venom. Oh!
He said, "What if? What's your favorite what if story?"
Sorry. Okay.
So this fucking symbiote like jumped from body, and I think Mr. Fantastic built his fucking gun, and I think Black Cat finally killed the symbiote. But that was like one of the distinctive what if stories that stuck with me.
Yeah, your fucking taste is bananas, bro.
Well, fuck you.
I accept that. Because Mr. Fantastic did develop the gun with the ultrasonics that contained the symbiote, and Peter Parker never died.
I think he did die in that issue.
No, I believe you in the what if.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, a good what if to me is like a good twist of fate. So, my favorite what ifs, and literally this might be a what if that I invented in my brain that didn't actually take place, but I feel should have, is like, what if Cable took out the X-Men from, what was it? Was it Executioner's Song?
Okay.
It was like a 12-part crossover with all the X books.
Yeah.
And Executioner was like supposed to be the bad guy, but it ended up like Apocalypse and Strife were in the background of it this whole time. And basically, it's X-Factor and X-Men Blue and Gold trying to track down X-Force.
Yeah.
Because they're like being rogue and they're going crazy and they're doing their own thing on their own agenda.
Yeah.
And so
I just want to add that Bryce put on the Jigglypuff hat again, and it's quite amusing.
Oh, yes. Well, this is great radio when I put on the Jigglypuff hat.
It is.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm not sure if it existed, but I guess my answer is that if it didn't exist, then it should have. Is what if Cable took out the X-Men, specifically with relation to Executioner's Song, the crossover event? Because that harkens back to the amazing beginning and main story of Cable versus the Avengers in the Jeff Loeb written, Ed McGuinness drawn run that was fucking a couple years back. But it ended so poorly that I was talking to Charlie about this earlier tonight. I do not remember how it actually ended. Because I just purged it from memory, because the ending was so bad. I remember just being so disappointed with the ending. Anyway, so my answer is that if that's a real thing. If it's not a real thing, then I love the fucking X-Men what-ifs, like, what if Strife won, or what if Professor X got taken over by the Shadow King, or some shit like that. I fucking love a good X-Men what-if. But my frustration or disappointment, I guess, is that what-ifs were never given really a lot of free reign or the best story writing talent.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is this fucking evil grin you have?
That's not it. Because the next question, problematic cartoon asks top 5 current Marvel books. I'll give you just I don't know,
20 minutes to think about it.
No, 20 seconds for each book that you want to mention.
Okay.
Just bullet time.
Okay.
Top 5 current Marvel books, and I'll let you do it because I haven't been reading Marvel except for Iron Man.
Because talking about X-Men would be too easy, frankly.
Yeah,
I will start with Uncanny Avengers. Uncanny Avengers I thought would be a joke book. They're trying to capitalize on the Uncanny name. They're trying to capitalize on X-Men being with the Avengers. The fucking lineup is off the wall. It's crazy. But if you actually go and read the book, they just had this epic arc of the Avengers trying to fight the Red Skull, who owns or is in possession of Professor X's brain. If you guys remember Astonishing X-Men from fucking way back, and they actually come to a head with the Red Skull, and there's some epic fucking battle that they have to deal with, like mind control, because he has Professor X's brain, and he takes over some Avengers. And the other Avengers have to figure out how to, take back control from those Avengers that he's taken over. It's fucking very well done, and Pepe Larraz does the art. The art is fucking incredible. So anyway, that book, while I don't know, I'd probably put it in my top 5, but I'm not sure where in my top 5 I would put it. I just wanted to give it a special shout out because I'm obviously biased towards the X books, as being one of the Marvel books that I'm reading currently that, deserves much better than it's getting. The other, okay, so that was probably less than 20 seconds, I'm sure, so I have more time for the others. I'm just kidding. Another book that I was tugging the dick on earlier was Old Man Logan, an episode or 2 ago. If you guys have not been reading Old Man Logan, the new sort of arc, the new creative team took over with the about 2 issues ago, which is about 6 weeks ago-ish. I thought that there's no way that they would be able to fulfill the previous creative team's work. But they have been doing just such a knock it out of the park job. They've been doing just a fantastic job with the art and the writing that I never thought that they would. So Old Man Logan is right up there too. I would love to say that Cable's up there. Cable fighting future space ninjas is very cool. I can not tell you necessarily that it's as good as I would like it to be. Okay, just because, holy fuck, how late is it? I will say that my last 2 answers are X-Men Blue and Gold. They are very different. I actually thought they would be much more similar than they have been. But, I guess you could argue, unsurprisingly, because it's X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold, that they are different books. The art in both has been great. The story in both has been very good. X-Men Gold I've been enjoying way more, but that's been fantastic. And Daredevil I've sort of fallen off on. Doctor Strange I've sort of fallen off on. They're both good. I'm just not sure if I'd put them in my top 5. And beyond that, I gotta think some more.
Cool. Well, Dominic. Well, I'm gonna skip it for time's sake. Plus, I haven't been reading books, so very funny for a guy that's on a comic book podcast. So I'm very sorry. Dominic Jack says, I think that might be more of a statement than or a question. He says, all new, all different comic conspiracy number 2. No, this is the 0.5 before the number 2, which will be officially coming next week.
Which is funny to consider the fact that, this is the first
of the new bunch
podcast from the rebirth.
Yeah.
From the ashes.
Well, we were trying to do it in the store. It just didn't happen. That's
true, but still, a milestone's a milestone.
Yeah. Josh Epp is asking, with all the negativity around the Marvel comics lately, what is something you're looking forward to from their books? Quickly.
Yeah, okay, so I also saw this one, so thank you for asking. So I sort of, this is, you might say this is just, Bryce head in the sand, and maybe it is. I sort of reject the whole, lots of Marvel negativity. I understand the sentiment towards there not being enough quote-unquote common characters that are out there, and I know that any podcast you get on with Higgins, he'll be throwing super shade at Marvel. There have been a lot of decisions that I haven't agreed with that Marvel has done, and so, fair play, but, I have to imagine if I'm running Marvel when I am winning in terms of numbers, because the fucking top brass only cares about numbers. If I'm winning all the time, and in money wise, it's hard for me to make a move. And so, what do I want to see? I want to see a fucking rebirth. I want to see Thor be Thor that I grew up with. I want to see Hulk be Hulk that I grew up with. I want to see, I guess Cap is sort of still Cap, but that's very confusing. So there's just a fucking, Spider-Man, we have 2 Spider-Mans now, and they both dress very similar, and it's I love Miles. I have nothing against Miles.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, you look at that Legacy poster, and you're just okay, every hero that like we grew up with is replaced, and so on the face of it, is it bad? No. Is it good that they're promoting diversity? Certainly, but I think that a lot of the core audience was sort of left behind, and I don't even consider myself that because I'm a fucking X-Men fan, and X-Men's owned by Fox, and they haven't done fuck all to get the rights back from Fox, so I'm just sort of fucked because they don't really give any cares about X-Men if it weren't for the fact that they're the highest selling shit. But so with regards to negative press around Marvel, maybe it's ignorant. I kind of reject that. I think that every month Higgins giving us sales numbers, and he's fucking so angry about how Marvel's selling more, and somebody was saying, I forget if it was on Twitter or Facebook, about how Bryce doesn't understand about sell through versus sell in, but I do fucking get it, and I don't think that I'm not sure if Higgins was talking sell through versus sell in, but I will maintain that sell in is all that really fucking matters to Marvel, and so why would Marvel change things? Even though I want, don't get me wrong, I want them to have better stories and better artists, but there's a fucking lot of really enjoyable books from Marvel right now, and even though the characters are ones that I wish that they didn't have, there's a lot of really good books, and so it's tough. It's tough for me to say. It's probably tough for the executive staff there to be like, why should we change things? We have good artists, we have great artists, we have great writers, and we're fucking beating DC every month. Maybe it's not as much as some people wish. I don't even know, man. I'm just saying that if you think about it, you're the boss, what do they have to do to win? I mean, they are making the most money. It's
okay. That's it.
That's it. That was fucking a half an hour.
It was. All right. What's it called? Greg White asks, or it's a request. Can we just get Bryce explain another story from Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology again? To which I will. I already posted this on Facebook. I think you should either move you Bryce briefly into Storytime with Bryce Larsen, or create a whole separate podcast called Storytime with Bryce Larsen.
You know what? You guys would be very lucky if you got Storytime with Bryce Larsen.
Because it'd be fucking glorious.
It would be fucking glorious.
Not only Neil Gaiman stories, but if he did retold X-Men stories in your voice.
I would retell fucking anything. Yeah,
anything.
I would retell anything. Here's the thing. Would you say that was Craig that asked that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It'd be fucking glorious.
This is what I need to get out into the ether out there, is that my Bryce Briefly Storytime was a product of love by me that I didn't put much time into the production of, even though I really wanted to tell the story. But I didn't get any good or bad, and trust me, I get a lot of bad feedback. I didn't get any good or bad feedback about it, saying, yeah, we want to see more of this, or hey, fuck you.
No, but there was a lot of likes on that one when I posted going, hey, it should be a separate podcast. That statement alone got 4 or 5 likes, which made me not a lot, but it means the interest is there.
Okay, anyway, I had no idea if people fucking loved it or hated it. I have no idea because I didn't see the feedback. And I don't know, did Higgins post that on the Facebook group and I just missed it?
No, he posted on the Patreon. Bryce Briefly is the Patreon specials.
Okay, so maybe he posted it and I just missed it. I just haven't seen any feedback saying, yeah, this was great, or fuck you, you're the worst storyteller ever. I'll take either.
Oh, no, I think it was glorious because I was there live for it and I was just giggling in the back.
Okay, excellent. Lucky for both of us. Anyway, I would love to tell more stories. It's just hard for me to know what you guys want because I haven't seen, and maybe it's there and it's just my bad, but I didn't see a lot of feedback about it.
I think it should be a whole separate podcast. Look, I don't want to lose you, but I think you go off on your own, just retelling stories.
Okay, well, we'll think about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay.
Are you up to date on Secret Empire?
I am, actually.
You are?
Love Secret Empire.
Well, Evan Scott is asking for an update.
So,
What are your thoughts so far?
The update is, oh man, my update for Secret Empire is that it's been good. It's been enjoyable. It has not been great, but it's not been bad. And I'm sorry to give such a fucking cop-out answer, but like, so the whole Dark Dimension taking over Manhattan, love that. The whole conundrum with, just Cap being a Hydra agent, I like that. That's nice. It's provided a great platform for the champions to become sort of main level or A-list superheroes. So that's nice too. You disallow the trolls much footing by omitting all space-related people because of the Earth bubble. That was pretty smart, actually, because the first thing probably that I would have complained about is, what about all the people in space that have all this alien technology and they could just come in and fix things? And so that's fine. I'm kind of frustrated in any press that I see about Secret Empire being related to the current political climate because it's so passé. It's so annoying. It's like, because this story is taking place in this time. And by the way, Higgins is the fucking like biggest culprit. No, actually, he's not as bad as I would like to give him credit for. But, I don't think that it's necessarily charged by this political climate necessarily. So I like the Dark Force stuff. I like the fact that they trapped all the space guys outside of the Earth bubble. I do not like how the Avengers are just like, oh, well, Cap is Cap. I guess we got to follow Cap. I do not like that. So, what do I think? I think that the manipulation of Hulk is annoying. They say something about how like Hulk has been resurrected temporarily. It's like, okay, what the fuck? He's resurrected temporarily? Like, earlier I mentioned Uncanny Avengers. He was actually resurrected temporarily in Uncanny Avengers as well as by the Hand as like a zombie Hulk, and so it's like kind of exactly what they're doing now, and so that's annoying. I guess net. Is it a good story? I think that Nick Spencer is better at world building than maybe finishing a story. I have to think about that before I commit that as my official answer, but I do feel that way right now. I just feel that it's been a good story. I'm just not sure that I believe that this whole even with the fucking cosmic cube, like Cap becoming a Hydra agent, like there's a great scene where Hulk is like, okay, fucking, what the fuck? I'm not going to help you. Since when did you become Hydra? Like, we fought our whole lives to fight. Because Hulk has been dead, by the way. They resurrect him. He missed the whole part about how the world has changed. But, I mean, like, has it really in comic book time? So, Cap is all of a sudden a Hydra. Hulk wakes up and Cap is Hydra. And, any other story would be written that Cap was just brainwashed for that one issue or whatever. But we're having a whole story where he's like, changed the world and is now the supreme leader of Hydra, and Hulk can't understand. Anyway, good, not great is, I guess, sort of a weak answer, but that's what I got for you.
Way says, you should have swiped the podcast equivalent to make another Toby and Bryce episode, which this is exactly what it is.
What can we say except you're
welcome?
Oh, look at that. Little duet.
Yeah.
You didn't pay for that. Or maybe you did.
Well, it's a Patreon thing, so technically they did.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Sane goes, can one of you talk about how awesome Super Sons is? You haven't been reading it, right?
Yes, so why don't you go? Because I've been talking way more.
Well, I only read the first 2 issues, and I fucking love it, and haven't read beyond it. So
why don't you tell us all about those 2 issues?
No.
I've read 0, so your turn.
We're at 1:30 a.m. I will say I will absolutely love it. I need to continue reading him. I haven't done it yet, but so far, it's awesome. John goes, thoughts on the upcoming Doom movie, which I don't know anything about. What Doom is this? Is the video game Doom? Is this Doctor Doom? Is this?
I assume it was a Doctor Doom movie.
Nice.
No,
Awesome.
I'm sorry. I actually. So growing up, I'm a terrible nerd. I never played Doom.
Yeah. Me neither.
Growing up, my
Yeah,
folks
and
just
I
didn't
didn't
have a
even watch
computer
the
that
Rock
supported
movie.
it.
Wasn't there a Rock movie with Doom?
It was. Did you watch it or no?
Nope. I actually liked The Rock, but I've never seen that movie.
I fucking love The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that there was a movie coming out. Keep going.
Yeah. Sean goes, honestly, I would be happy with 20 minutes of Bryce trying to get Toby to say Green Lantern's name. Well, too bad. It's not happening. Moving on.
Wait, who's he trying to say that? Hal Jordan? What name is he trying to avoid you saying?
I don't know, man.
Is it Kyle Rayner?
No, it's a name I will never say again on a podcast.
Is it Mogo?
Nope, it is Ryan something.
Is it Chip?
It's Ryan R. Dot.
Ryan R. Dot.
Wait a minute. Yes, Ryan R. Dot.
Ryan R. Dot.
Yeah.
Is he Indian?
No, that's his new name.
Ryan R. Dot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alan says, why doesn't Bryce ever join us for Hero Clicks on Friday nights anymore?
Well,
just bring your own beer to the store like Omar used to.
Yeah, are you fucking kidding? I thought that I'd covered this. Thank you for the aggressive invite. I would love to join you guys, but here's what happens, my man, if you have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, is that you don't get to go out as much as you want, and we
record a podcast in the garage.
Your kids have bedtimes. Yeah, exactly. Actually, we've done a great job not waking my man up.
Yeah.
I very, very much miss HeroClix. I used to play fucking HeroClix. I got Omar into HeroClix. I fucking
that's your fault.
Yes, he's welcome. Yeah, I fucking very much miss HeroClix. It is my intention when my son is older to get him into HeroClix. But right now we have bedtimes for kids, and then there's only so many of those cards, hall passes that you can play with the old lady when you say, yeah, okay, even though the kids are down, you just stay at home. I'm going to go have fun, drink some beers. And
then we got to return and stay in the garage and record a podcast.
Exactly. This was a big hall pass that I'm using.
As a follow-up, what's going on in the HeroClix lately? You guys never talk about it. Well, I don't play it. That's all you. And you haven't been playing it either.
So, yeah, I mean, I've been bad. I've bought a shit ton and haven't played in forever. I fucking bought hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of HeroClix and haven't played in years. Wow. It's fucking, I would say it's embarrassing, but I sort of embrace it because I fucking love HeroClix and love superhero miniatures. And I just hope one day that my son will play the game with me, and that's sort of what I got going on.
Oh. David asks, favorite trailer from Comic-Con? Do you still watch trailers?
You mean, do I still not watch trailers?
His question was, favorite trailer from Comic-Con?
Yeah.
And my follow-up, do you still watch trailers?
I don't know. You know that I don't watch trailers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like...
Do you mean, do I still not watch trailers?
Yeah, well, do you just not watch them all together?
I avoid all trailers.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you avoided all of them.
I famously, in my own head, and probably only in my own head, did not know Luke Skywalker was in the last Star Wars movie until I saw the movie.
Nice. Well, I will answer this one then. My favorite trailer was the Thor trailer, which I thought was fucking amazing. Second to that, I want to say is the Stranger Things 2 trailer. Just by them getting the Michael Jackson song, it was fucking amazing. And the third favorite is probably the Defenders, because I love the characters more than the Justice League, but Justice League has Gal Gadot. So, and Jason Momoa, it's a little tough. But those are my favorites. Reginald asks, oh, by the way, the HeroClix question was from Reginald. I may have not asked that before, or not mentioned that before. But he also asked, what Earth, DC or Marvel, would be better? Wait, hold on. Sorry, a few in. What Earth, DC or Marvel, would be better one to live on if you were just a normal guy trying to live a normal life? I think for you it'd be Marvel, right? Because no Superman destroying half of your town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to live in Gotham and if, at all.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to live in fucking Metropolis where Superman's going to be toppling buildings on you.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to just, live in a nice, peaceful, superior Marvel world?
I was gonna say DC.
Oh, you want to live in Bloodhaven? That's a really charming city.
Yeah,
name.
but
Hey, Mom, send the postcard you're gonna send me to Bloodhaven.
DC's got the Wonder Woman, but Marvel's got Black Cat. I don't think I have a chance of either of them, but I might be safer in the Marvel universe.
Well, TBD. You certainly have less gods to compete with.
That's
in the Marvel
true.
universe.
That's true. So I'll only be like the 7,575th person in line.
There you go.
So I'll probably go with Marvel then.
I love it.
Yeah. Last, if you ever had another podcast, non-comics related, what would it be about? From I'm listening.
It would definitely be some sort of zombie amalgamation of soccer and
soccer and beer. Soccer and a beer.
Oh, I was gonna say soccer and basketball. Does it mean just you and me?
I don't know. Maybe. So, it'd be funny. It'd be half basketball, half soccer plus beer.
I don't know how we would do it, but it would somehow be a zombie creation of our love for soccer and our love for basketball, and by our for each of those.
Yeah, you mean half is Bryce and half is me.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the common fare is beer.
Exactly. So, would I love to give you my starting 11 of only basketball players, and give you my starting fucking 5? How many people play on basketball?
5.
I knew that.
He knew that.
I didn't know that.
He did.
Then yeah, there you go.
Well, I already do my side podcast with Charlie about TV shows and movies because it's my other love. But if it's not that, yeah, absolutely be basketball.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think that's a wrap.
Okay, that's a great way to tie it off.
Yeah. Tying off of other podcasts we would do.
Yes.
Anyways, we want to wish Ryan all the best because tomorrow is D-Day, and when this podcast is going up, it's actually today, where he's opening up the new location of the Comic Conspiracy.
There's no way he gets this up today.
Well, tomorrow. He's getting it up tomorrow. Well, it's today. It's 1:45 a.m. right now. We're doing this for you, the people.
That was actually the best impersonation of an American first language person I've ever heard you do ever.
What? Oh, the people.
No, that was terrible.
That was terrible.
But the other one was really good.
Oh, okay. Well, we wish Ryan...
give it back to you.
The people.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're not sure if you're Russian or...
I'm not sure if I'm anything else. Anyways, we wish you all the best, Ryan Higgins. We will obviously be at your shop recording multiple podcasts coming on. I will be there working for you. Rice will be buying books from you.
You know that Higgins is not going to listen to this.
He will absolutely not listen to this. But
Leanne will, though.
No, Leanne? She will not. She'll maybe listens to you. Gets 5 minutes in and goes, no, enough of that. and then she when she hears me at all, she goes, definitely none of that shit. So, but anyways, we wish the Higgins well. Hopefully he will no longer be sick. Oh, well, maybe we do wish him to be sick so we get more of these 0.5 episodes.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the last podcast before the all new, all different whatever, .nows, .powers, .rebirth rejiggered comics conspiracy. Have a nice one, folks. Thank you.
Good night.